Oh, my apologies. I didn't hear you come in. Is there something you needed from me? I understand that Hu Tao has been working pretty hard. What with her project to bring in more customers. Honestly, I don't entirely understand her approach. Nor how she expects the citizens to flock to a funeral parlor. But I do understand her drive. And almost admire her for it, in fact. You wanted to see me? Now, why would you want to visit an old man like me? You flatter me. But I assure you that I'm much older than I look. Oh, of course I'm not busy. Well, maybe that's not the right phrase. I'm not doing anything that is required to be done post-haste. Please, sit. What is it you'd like to discuss? Ah, so you think the Geo Archon is still alive. And that he's still among us. Especially considering what happened to the last rite of ascension. Pray tell, what might give you this idea? Oh. I'm sorry, but it's such an intriguing idea. I couldn't help but laugh. I suppose myself and the statues in Lille do have some kind of resemblance to each other. However, there's one thing you're forgetting. I happen to possess a vision, like many others blessed by the Lord of Geo. What use would a god have for a vision? Not only that, but one of their own element. Personally, I don't see a need for it. You might be right about that. It probably wouldn't be difficult for a god to create a fake vision of a gift they bestow upon others. In that case, I have one more question for you. If your speculations happen to be true, what then? Would your view of me change? Would you treat me any differently? Perhaps the reason a god would choose to live among mortals is to leave their immortal life behind. Thankfully, I know you aren't the type to go boasting about this kind of thing. Not that anyone would believe you. But I didn't think you were this perceptive. Cat's out of the bag, I believe is the phrase. I trust that you'll keep this between us, though. Very few people know my true identity, and I'd like to keep it that way. That said, I wish I could have told you at a better time. I had been planning to eventually, but my mind has been distracted with other things today. Oh, it's nothing. I wouldn't bore you with the story. I'm sure you've heard plenty of them to begin with from me. Though sometimes I'll admit I can't help myself. Seeing your eyes light up as I craft another story for you to hear, it fills me with a sense of content that I could be the cause of such wonder and joy. All right, if you insist. But it's not the happiest of tales, so I hope it doesn't depress you. I'm sure you're aware of my history with the Lord of Dust, Guizhong, or at least have heard it before. She was very dear to me, perhaps more than anyone else. We met many eons ago, amid a field of glazed lilies, where she gifted me a symbol of our bond, now known as the memory of dust. She perished on this day, 3,700 years ago. I could never forget this day, no matter how time drags on. It is forever burned into my memory. Her face, her voice. I remember it all. Hu Tao is kind enough to offer me the day off each year. However, I find being indulged in my work provides the best distraction. There's no need to apologize. It has been a long time since I've been able to speak of her, even amongst the other Adepti. In fact, I don't recall the last time I heard them utter her name. At least, not around me, anyways. It feels nice to talk about her again. Guizhong was a very intelligent and kind woman who always thought of the safety of Liyue and its people. She helped establish the Guili Assembly, along with the God of Stoves. I've heard he's doing pretty well for himself now, assisting a high-strung chef working at Wanmin restaurant. Guizhong also created the Guizhong Ballista at Tianqing Pass, meant to protect Liyue from outside invaders on its own. She studied and created many such devices, even teaching her followers agriculture so that they may provide for themselves in a more efficient manner. In a way, you remind me of her. Your compassion and drive, your unwavering strength. And truthfully, even your manner of speaking is so reminiscent of her. There's a certain phrase that Guizhong once said, one of her 4 commandments, in fact. Virtue grows tall like a tree. Though there be shade, it will flourish forever. To me, you are the embodiment of this commandment, a trait that I've only seen in a select few over my entire lifetime. Perhaps that is what drew me to you in the first place. But you are also different from her in many ways, ways that make it nearly impossible to compare the two of you. And for that, I'm grateful. As much as I see you in her, I also see what sets you apart. Thus, I could never mistake you for the same person, nor even a reincarnation of the Guizhong I once knew. Thank you. It's been a long time since I've held someone's hand like this. I'd almost forgotten what it felt like. Such a comforting feeling. It could almost bring me to tears. Almost. I'm sure there might be a time in the future where tears would fill my eyes. But fortunately, that time is not now. I'm not sure how to repay you for your kindness, but I promise that it will not be forgotten. I'm aware that I don't have to, but I think kindness should always be repaid with kindness, at the very minimum. After all, it's only fair, isn't it? Perhaps when we both have the time, I could take you to the field of glazed lilies I mentioned before. It's a beautiful place, hidden away from prying eyes. One of my favorite gateways when I need to relax. I'm certain you'd love it. It's a date then. Your face is all red. Was that too forward of me? If it makes you uncomfortable, we can just consider it an outing between friends. All right then, if you say so. Ah, look at the time. It's gotten quite late now, hasn't it? Time flies, and I still have to finish my paperwork. I do feel much better than before, thanks to you. I can already feel the stress I built, slowly dissipating. I almost didn't notice. You're welcome to stay if you'd like. It really shouldn't take me too much longer. I could walk you home afterwards, if that's all right. Oh, it's no trouble at all. If I recall, your place happens to be on the way to mine, so it's convenient either way. Though, even if it weren't, I'd offer all the same. Okay then. Make yourself comfortable. I'll try to finish as quickly as possible. I won't make you wait any longer than necessary.